But if it's illegal immigration and there's no filter, well, how do you know who's coming in? You don't know.
Hundreds of years of America eliminated by an invasion that our leaders made possible. You should know that.
It's crazy what's going on. They're ruining our country. And it's true. They're destroying the blood of our country. That's what they're doing.
Elon Musk makes a controversial statement about bailing out Donald Trump while delving into the complexities of border policy, questioning the wisdom of unfiltered immigration.
His policies are terrible. It has caused the biggest collapse on our border in American history.
Now we have a border catastrophe like in, nobody's ever seen really anything like it. If you look today frankly, look over the last 3 years. But you look now, it's so bad.
That's your country being invaded. It will never be the same. Republicans in Congress, the Republican governor of Texas, do nothing as this happens. Democrats cheer it on. They know that America will soon be a one-party state, and they'll be in charge. Immigration is the reason.
Amidst discussions on immigration, Elon Musk draws attention to the plight of Americans facing encroachment on their land, highlighting the urgent need for awareness and action.
So now Binder won't talk about the border, the bribery, or the blow, because the White House doesn't want to explain why they want Latin America to colonize North America. Biden said, just watch me. And I am. I'm watching him give 500,000 Venezuelans temporary amnesty this week. No deportations, and they get work permits and Social Security numbers.
The story of history is the story of invasions. One group of people moving into someone else's land and taking it. One nation ends, another begins. Invasions drive history. Few Americans understand this is happening to them right now.
The Secretary of Homeland Security, Mr. Mayorkas, apparently snapped out of it and realized, wait, there's like a gazillion people flooding into the country. And now they're announcing that there's an immediate need to build 17 miles of border wall in Starr County, Texas, because of illegal entry.
Elon Musk hints at a potential endorsement in the political arena, underscoring the uncertainty surrounding his stance as he navigates the volatile landscape.
Well, I'll voice my opinion. I think I don't want to put a thumb on the scale monetarily. That is, significant.
Are you going to loan him money to help pay his bills?
No,
not at all. Pay his legal bills.
I'm not paying his legal bills in any way, shape, or form.
And he did not ask you for money.
And he did not ask me for money.
Are you going to? So you're not going to endorse a candidate?
I may, in the final stretch, endorse a candidate, but I don't know yet. I want to make a considered decision before the election, and if I do decide to endorse a candidate, then I will explain exactly why.
Are you leaning towards anyone?
No.
You're not leaning towards anyone? Because you've been...
I'm leaning away from Biden.
You're leaning...
I've made no secret of that.
Are you concerned about losing your security clearance if Biden is reelected? Does that have anything to do with it?
No.
You are leaning away from Biden, but you're not going to endorse anyone. It seems like an endorsement of President Trump because there are only two people who are running now. Nikki Haley is out.
I mean, a lot could happen between now and the election. So we'll see who, in the final analysis, are the choices for president. And at that point, I may or may not endorse one of the candidates. If I do, I will provide a very detailed explanation of why I am endorsing one or the other.
Donald Trump's response to being banned from the Colorado primary ballot reverberates across the political landscape, stirring debate and speculation.
Yesterday, we had a single highest day record of illegal border crossings ever recorded, 12,600, one day. We have no idea who any of them are. They come from Africa. They come from Asia. They come from South America, but not just South America. They're all over the world. They dump them on the border and they pour into our country, and nobody's there to check them. And the Border Patrol's incredible, by the way. They want to do it, but they're told not to do their job. They're destroying our country. They don't like it when I said that. And I never read Mein Kampf. They said, oh, Hitler said that in a much different way. No, they're coming from all over the world, people all over the world. We have no idea. They could be healthy, they could be very unhealthy. They could bring in disease that's going to catch on in our country, but they do bring in. But they have them coming from all over the world. And they're destroying the blood of our country. They're destroying the fabric of our country. And we're going to have to get them out. We're going to have to get mass numbers of these, especially they're coming from jails, prisons. They're coming from mental institutions. They say, please don't say the words insane asylum. But I have to say it. They're emptying out the insane asylums from all over the world. Why wouldn't they? I would do it if I were running Guatemala, El Salvador, Honduras, Mexico. They're emptying out their prisons into our country.
The alarming surge in illegal border crossings prompts Elon Musk to voice concerns over the escalating crisis, emphasizing the need for decisive measures to address the issue.
This is new video never seen before of what's actually happening inside Chicago's police stations. Keep in mind, the people who work in those police stations are paid to protect you, but that's not what they're doing. They're running refugee camps for illegal aliens. As our cameramen approached the Chicago police precinct in the city's downtown to see what was happening inside, you see people come out, illegal aliens, finger and yelling. They didn't hide their hostility. Many other illegals have been pushed into poorer, predominantly black neighborhoods on the South Side. We went there. We spoke to someone who has lived on the South Side of Chicago virtually his entire life. He's enraged by how the city has fallen apart under its sanctuary city policy.
Andre Smith, CEO of Chicago Against Violence. I don't know the count, but I know that the readiness, the language of sanctuary city, state, and county should have had a plan, but it led to a massive destruction. I have seen almost the worst of the worst in Chicago, but seeing this migrant crisis was the most devastating thing that I ever seen.
You live in America, the place you grew up, the place you'd like to see your children grow up, in much the way that you did. But that won't be possible because of the single greatest sellout in our history.
Elon Musk sheds light on the repercussions of sanctuary city policies, pointing to their detrimental impact on marginalized communities and the broader social fabric.
We're experiencing a major shift in our population and culture. New research shows 50 million people who live in this country right now weren't born here. They came here, millions of them illegally. And it under Joe Biden. Look at this. We've always been a nation of immigrants, but never like this. In 1970, only 10 million immigrants lived in America. Today, it's 5 times that number. Come to America and vote blue. And they're streamlining it. This is the Migrant Express. Hundreds of illegals on a freight train heading right for the border. They call this train the Beast. The illegals strap on their native flags to the train as it cuts through the Mexican desert. But they're not just coming here by train. Biden's letting illegals fly into the country also. Remember Biden's broken app illegals used to cross the border on foot? Now they can use it while they're in the air. Biden let 200,000 illegals fly into American airports from Venezuela, Haiti, Cuba, and Nicaragua. They can just check in on the app from the sky. These are secret flights. We wouldn't know about it if it wasn't for a FOIA. And we still don't know where they landed. But at this rate, every big city and small town will get the New York treatment, complete transformation to appease the illegals and their protectors. A black market economy run by giant corporations hiring illegals to deliver their food, work the factories, and pick the crops. Oh, and the CIA is in it as well.
How stupid are we to allow this to happen? This week, the Biden administration closed 2 vital railway crossings so that border agents could be redirected to help process even more migrants. They were coming in. You saw the trains with thousands and thousands of people on top of them and in them. Thousands and thousands of people pouring into our country. And we actually allow them to come in. They process them. Where do you come from? Where were you? I was in a jail. Oh, okay, you can come in. Come on in. They let anybody in. And you have other people that study. You probably saw Melania this week where she held a great, beautiful reception for people that came into our country legally. They studied, they worked, they had to take exams, they had to talk about our flag and George Washington and everything else. It was a beautiful day. But that's the way it's supposed, because we want people to come in, but they have to come in legally. But what's happening now is the whole system is being underrun. And no country can sustain this, by the way. You know, you have children going to school, they don't speak the language. You have children going to school speaking languages that nobody even knows what the language is. There are many languages in the world. They don't even know what the language is. And they're sitting in classrooms, and there's no room for our students in the classrooms, and they don't speak the language. On my first day back in the White House, I will terminate every open border policy of the Biden administration, stop the invasion on our southern border, and begin the largest domestic deportation operation in American history. We have no choice. No country can sustain this. We will restore law and order to our communities, and I will direct a completely overhauled DOJ to investigate every radical, out-of-control prosecutor, of which we have many.
Elon Musk paints a vivid picture of the migrant influx, describing the sight of hundreds of immigrants packed onto freight trains bound for the border.
I think that generally, one should welcome to a country anyone who is willing to work hard and is honest, has high integrity, and will add to any given country. If somebody is an asset to the country, why not have them join? That's obviously a great thing to do. So I think it's good actually to have an increase in legal immigration and
legal with paper, with
just some approval process, but with a simple requirement that, look, if somebody's going to add to a country, like we're just really hardworking and high integrity, let them in. I think that's great. So you have to have some basis for saying somebody should come in or not come in. And my argument is like, it should be a very simple basis. Will they add to the country? Will they be a productive part of the economy? And do they admire the culture? Do they want to join because of the culture? Then that's great. But if there's no process for that, then you don't know. I think at least some number of the people that come in will not necessarily, and I want to be careful because my words will be misconstrued. I'm not saying all illegal immigrants are, I think probably perhaps most of them are good. But there will be some, if there's no process for reviewing, not at all, then how can you say that everyone who is an illegal immigrant is going to be honest and hardworking? You can't say that because you simply don't know. So I want to be clear. Top line, pro-immigration, but let's increase legal immigration, but we should stop illegal immigration. I think this is just logical.
Elon Musk advocates for a nuanced approach to immigration, emphasizing the value of hard work, integrity, and contribution to society.
Well, what is the big picture? You know, what is causing this? Homelessness is not based on the lack of affordable housing. That would be like saying illegal immigration is based on a lack of places to live. That's not the way it is. It's where you prefer to go. The media cherry picks stories of the homeless that make it feel like it's, families and it's veterans. That may be a tiny, tiny part of this problem. We could solve that instantly. It's mostly young to middle-aged dudes who settle into the life because it's not really that bad. Hobos on. I mean, think about it. You don't pay any bills. You got no mortgage. You get free stuff. I've been thinking about it.
Elon Musk challenges conventional narratives surrounding homelessness and immigration, offering thought-provoking insights into the root causes of these complex issues.
Who lives here determines what the country's like. This country is changing faster than you may understand. Americans are being replaced. That's not a conspiracy theory, it's a fact. In August of 2023, illegal immigration outpaced American births, a brand new population. Last year alone, over 3 million people came here illegally just over our southern border. The media won't tell you it's happening, but if you look around, you can see it, and you can see it most clearly in our cities, which are collapsing.
Criticizing Biden's border policies, Elon Musk underscores the urgency of fortifying border security measures, framing them as essential safeguards rather than regressive barriers.
I think we're missing the whole story. This president who got in saying, I'm going to use high tech and we don't need a wall, I'm going to change these horrible policies, has now found out that his policies are terrible. It has caused the biggest collapse on a border in American history. And not building the barrier is not going back to the Viking age. It is actually absolutely necessary. And the thing was, last month, we found out they were selling the wall that we paid for
as taxpayers for pennies on the dollar because the Senate was beginning to move on forcing the construction of that wall. Now, Mayorkas is admitting that he's building just 20 miles of that wall. Just 20 miles. So that's going to be in desperate areas of Texas and Eagle Pass area, but it should be 500 miles. Here's what he said. Yeah, listen, look at all that wall that should be standing, helping our border patrol and our country. Instead, for pure political reasons, he's selling it off in order not to be forced to build it.